Hello, rooted listeners. Welcome back to the podcast. With the Winter Olympics on very soon, I wanted to share something a little different today that will be very useful for athletes who are engaged and keeping up with the Olympics. So, most people who watch these are watching for the results, the medals, scores, highlights, just the thrill of competition and cheering on their country. As a sport psychology coach, I watch something else entirely. So, in this episode, I'm going to give you 3 things to look for when watching the Winter Olympics, things that can actually help you as an athlete, no matter what sport you play or what level that you're at. And these are very subtle things, quick moments, but they say a lot about mindset preparation and what it really takes to perform on the biggest stage. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want you to notice is post-competition interviews. When an athlete finishes, especially after a medal performance, listen closely to who they credit. Are they talking about their coaches, their teammates, family, support staff, or are they only talking about themselves? This says a lot about an athlete's values and their understanding of performance and what got them there, because nobody can get to the Olympics alone. And athletes who recognize their support systems tend to be just more grounded, more resilient, and more emotionally regulated under pressure, I have found. And also notice the emotion in these interviews. Some athletes will be crying, some are very stoic, some might be overwhelmed, barely putting words together. And that makes sense because you're witnessing the release of 4 years of pressure, really an entire lifetime of work for a single moment. You're not just watching a performance, you're witnessing what it looks like when years of preparation finally collide with reality. And that is such a cool moment. And so just being aware of that and thinking about that as you're watching those post interviews can be really cool. 2, the second thing to watch for happens before they compete. So pay attention to their pre-competition routines, athletes. How do they get themselves ready? You'll just see usually quick camera shots of these. And some athletes are listening to music, some are hyping themselves up with teammates, some are sitting quietly with their eyes closed, visualizing, some are meditating. They might be praying, doing the sign of the cross, or holding on to a necklace. Every single athlete has a routine. No two look exactly the same. And that's because performance isn't about copying what works for someone else. It's about finding your optimal energy level and what works for you. Because some athletes, they need to be really energized and hyped up, and some need to be calm, more focused. Some need more emotion than others. So as you watch, ask yourself, energy level do I perform best at? And what routines do I notice that I'm really drawn to? What would work for me to get me to that ideal energy level? And is there something here that I'm watching from these Olympians that could really inspire my routine? Don't be copying and pasting their routine, but use it as more of inspiration. And your routine should help you feel grounded, confident, and ready. It should be pretty natural for you, and you should like doing this. The last thing, third thing to watch is body language during the Olympics. This one is small, but it's huge. So notice how the athletes look right before they compete. Are they very tall? Are they standing with confidence? Do they look a little more nervous and internal? How do they respond after a mistake? How are they interacting with others? Do they have their shoulders back, head held high? How do they act in between plays or runs? How are they sitting or standing on the bench and interacting with their teammates? Do they stay engaged when things aren't going their way? Do they carry themselves like somebody who belongs at that level? But here's the important part. Start to take note of what you like and what you don't like. And then ask yourself, if I want to compete at the next level, are my actions lining up with that level already? Does my body language show exactly what I want? And great performance, elite performance isn't just about skill. It's about how you carry yourself when things don't go perfectly. And I know I said I was going to give you 3 things to look for, but a bonus one, also look for how they interact with their coaches. Are they making eye contact? Are they listening, taking in the feedback, staying open to that feedback? And are they responding with respect, especially under pressure and stress that they might be feeling? So all of these things tells you a lot about an athlete's coachability, maturity, long-term potential. The best athletes aren't the ones who never struggle. There's always going to be struggles and challenges. They're the ones who can stay connected, communicative, and composed when pressure is very high. And you get a really good feeling for that in terms of how they're treating their coach under the high pressured situations. So all in all, when you are watching the Winter Olympics, don't just watch the results, watch the people, watch the moments in between, watch their mindset. Because if you're looking for these things, the Olympics can teach you a lot about your own performance without ever really stepping onto the ice or the snow. If you find this helpful, feel free to share it with an athlete, a parent, coach who might see the game a little bit differently now. As always, if you want more personalized one-on-one sports psychology help, reach out to me, Georgia at rootedsportspsychcoach.com. Thanks for tuning in, you all, and we'll see you next week.